Good morning, everyone. Gina coming to you from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, where I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And welcome to today's class. Today's class, we are featuring a Christmas sampler and a winter-themed sampler. So when you guys get on, say hello, tell me where you're coming from. I had the event created, I noticed this morning, and YouTube, but then I realized when I went to add the cover photo that I did not have the event. I had the in-person event scheduled in my Facebook group, but not the online version. So I hope you guys are getting this and you'll see it. As you guys know, Stampin' Up! Is running a sale right now. Is their first ever Black Friday sale. I know there's been some frustration out there because they have been sold out of things right away yesterday. So, but I've heard some things have come in. So if you're looking to stock up on any blends, the blends are only $6.60. I think they're normally $11. So hello, Polly. Really great time or if you got some blends you need to go through and weed out. The brush chips have gotten bad. Now's the time to stock up on that. There's some ink refills, bundles that are on sale, some adhesives. I don't know what's left of the adhesives. I did not check that before I went on this morning. Some cardstock. I know white cardstock was on there, but it was also sold out. So I guess keep checking back, and the sale does go through the 1st, so keep that in mind. So hopefully maybe some things will come in if you're hoping that they went out of stock and now are back. Hello, Barbara. Good morning. So, like I said, I know there's some frustration with that, and it's completely out of our hands as demonstrators, but there are some good deals out there. So take advantage of what's there and go from there. So for today's class, we're making 12 by 12 samplers. So we're gonna make 2 of them. One is Christmas, one is winter. I actually forgot the frames. So I got my frame. It's a 12 by 12 frame from Hobby Lobby. And if you wanna see a picture of the frame, I did a sampler class last in October where I did a Halloween one and a fall one. So the frame was in there. So I went to Hobby Lobby. I think the frame was like $6 or something like that. But any of your craft stores, your Michaels, Hobby Lobby, I guess I don't know what other craft stores are out there anymore now that Joann's is gone, and you could go online too. I'm sure Amazon's got something too. So with that being said, let's get stamping. Good morning, Cindy. Happy Thanksgiving early to everyone. Tell me what your plans are for Thanksgiving. We are gonna have way too much food. It's gonna be delicious. We'll be at the farm. So here is our winter sampler, and here is our Christmas sampler. So that's what I have for you today. So like I said, we'll be at the farm eating way too much food, and it's gonna be delicious, and games will be played. Lots of laughs will be happening. Good morning, Mary. So we are going to start off with our Christmas sampler. So you're going to need a piece of 12 by 12 Secret C. I'm using the two-toned. So that's going to be our base. So that's our base. I don't have an extra one. I needed enough for my class that's in person on Saturday, so I did not bring an extra one. So I'm just gonna make the different squares with you guys, and then you guys can assemble the squares where they need to be. So our main piece here is a 6 by 6 square, and then a white piece that we emboss with that really pretty wreath embossing folder that comes with the Christmas greenery. Really pretty. And we're going to use a sponge dauber and our old olive ink, and we're going to ink up that wreath. Mary, you are going to your daughter's for lunch and then home with peace. Hello, Sandy. I'll want a little piece after we after we eat, the kids will want to play games right away, and I'll probably try to steal one of the babies and be like, it's nap time, and take a little, like, you know, siesta with the babies before we play games. So I'm going to use my sponge dauber, dip it in my ink, go on my scratch paper, and then you don't want to press firmly. You just want a really light touch, and just lightly brush along the top of your leaves. So this is an idea of how to use this folder beyond just, you know, embossing, is to take a sponge dauber and color it. You could also take your ink pad and drag it along the top of this. You could use a blending brush. I did a card where I watercolored the leaves. You could take and emboss, heat emboss. You could take your Versamark over the top and then sprinkle some powder on there. So lots of different ways that you can use this folder. Yes, turkey is good for a little siesta, Mary. I completely agree. There's something about turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and some veggies that will put you in a food coma. And you all know how Janet cooks, so it's going to be amazing, and we're all gonna overeat because it's so delicious. You could also take your brayer and go over the top of this also. And I don't know about the rest of the world, but this morning I woke up and I think Mother Nature has flipped her switch, and we officially have winter here. At least in Fond du Lac. I know southern parts of the state already had quite a bit of snow. It is windy out there. I had to scrape the truck off before I came. I was like, I don't have time for this. And now you can go and add like spots of color if you want darker areas and some of the more raised parts, or you can leave it like this. You could bring in your mossy meadow and add another layer of coloring with your mossy meadow. So there we go. That's all you have to do to give that wreath a little bit of life. This is the wreath folder from the Christmas Greenery and Traditional Labels, or it's called Traditional Christmas Sweet, Mary. Hello, Melanie. How are you today? Okay, so now this gets glued on to our 6x6 piece of red. And don't forget to like and share my videos. That helps me bring you guys more, and you guys also get entered into a drawing at the end of the month for liking and sharing. There's always a prize. Who doesn't love prizes, right? I am good. It's hard to believe, like, it is Thanksgiving week. It always amazes me how fast time goes. And, you know, I always think about, as a kid, you couldn't be, you know, 16 fast enough, or a growing up fast enough. And now it just seems, even now that I'm older, time is just going faster and faster. Okay, so you're gonna have 4 red mats, and then you're gonna have 2 pieces of DSP and 2 pieces of DSP that are the same. And these all get matted onto the red pieces. Look at that, so pretty. So does everyone have a favorite DSP from the holiday catalog? Is there a favorite or a favorite sweet? Melanie, you say the next day sandwiches. Oh yeah, nothing like leftovers. I saw something really, it just looked delicious, and I guess I've never seen this before, but like leftover pie. So they fill it, they make a pie shell with the turkey and the cranberry sauce, and they layer stuffing on it, and then layer the mashed potatoes and pour gravy over it. I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. What else does everybody like to make with the leftovers? It would make turkey noodle soup. That was another favorite. I would say this is my favorite DSP from the holiday catalog. And I would have thought sometimes when I create a board for the Creative Escape, I always do a display. And sometimes when you do that and you're making 25 projects with it, you kind of, I don't know, sometimes you kind of feel like you're OD'd on that set and you're done with it and you don't want to create any more things with it. And I have to say, this suite I have not gotten tired of. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 flowers. Now, they won't necessarily look the same colors. It's from the DSP, so in this pack you'll get 2 of the same flowers. So some are of more of a red poinsettia versus the pink. So just, they slightly vary a little bit. And these are gonna go on the center of your Secret Sea DSP. Ooh, turkey and wild rice soup. That sounds really good too. So I'm going to use my dimensionals and pop this up. Or we also like to make like chicken pot pie, but turkey pot pie. Today I made a ham this weekend. So we are going to have potato ham, cheesy potato ham soup today. I think it's going to be a perfect day for that. So these will go in the center. Like that. Okay, I'm just pulling my pieces out, and that's kind of how I'm working on this. We still have a little more work to do here. Okay, so then I cut out 2 circles, or 2 different patterned circles. So one is larger than the other. These are going to be ornaments for our set. Oops, I did not grab. I cut out a bunch of these and I did not bring enough ornament toppers. So I'll have to add these a little later, but I have these ornament toppers and we're gonna glue these onto the circles. Mary, you are more than welcome to come over for soup. I don't know that it's going to be a fun drive for you, but I will be more than happy to have you over for soup. So you're just gonna glue these to the top of your circles. The sampler class here is $26 for, and you get to make both samplers, plus shipping. So if you have other stuff shipped, it would be just an additional $2 being shipped, or if this is the only class you're getting, then it's $6 for shipping. Okay, so pretend we have 2 more little toppers here. I'm going to pop up the top of the blue ornaments. And then I'll completely pop up the red ones. And I am putting my ornaments on here, at least the striped ones, like they're on a diagonal, so, but you could have them go up and down or the other way. And before I do that, I am going to, yes, I will add this to yours, Mary. We have some of the white and gold twine, and we're just gonna do this with the Secret C ones. I'm just going to add a long strand. Now when you get this kit, I'm just going to give you a long piece of this. I've been having troubles tying lots of bows, so you guys will be cutting your own, or doing your own bows this time in this kit. And then that, I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue to the bottom. So that's going to go like that, and then we are just going to wrap this around like this. So this is something completely optional, but I felt like something was missing a little bit when I just had the ornaments on. At first I just put the ornaments on and I didn't have a string attached, and I just felt like I needed something more. So sorry guys, I am just moving this over a little bit. It didn't feel centered with my ornament. Okay. And then this one is going to get layered slightly over the top or the bottom of your Secret C one. So just like that. And do the same thing with the other one. You can handle bows. I know bows can be tough though sometimes. They're not always easy, and I guess the arthritis in my thumbs is not playing nice lately, so the struggle has been real. Adulting is not fun. Things like that happen. Okay, and this one, and I'm putting them like this one I'm gonna put slightly to the left, and this one I'm gonna put slightly to the right. So I'm kind of gonna do them opposite each other and bring my string over. Okay, so we have that. And then this one will go over here to the left. So we got this to the right, this to the left. I feel like I should do a dance, right? And this one to the left and this one to the right. Okay, and then out of the DSP, you'll fussy cut 2 flowers. So we're gonna put those flowers right on our ornaments. It's the weather and aging. You are so right, Mary. It is not cool. You know, they kind of give you lessons about the different stages of life. They do not give you lessons for when aging hits and your body starts to fall apart on you and you're like, whoa, what is happening to me? So I'm going to put this flower. So your flowers will look slightly different, but similar. And this one will go here. And make sure I leave room to put my ornament toppers. And then this is where you make your bows. And if you don't like to make bows, or you have a hard time and you don't have a bow maker, get a bow maker. It will save you so much time and frustration, because all you have to do with these is wrap it around. I want a double bow, so I wrapped it around. You can either wrap it around once. I'm going to do a double bow, so I'm going to wrap it around again. And then I leave this side a little bit shorter when I bring it over. This side is longer. That's the piece that is going up and over. And I will say, with this twine, you want to make sure that you tie this really firmly. It does loosen up. I think it's the silkiness of the gold that's in here. So just be aware, your bows want to come loose with this. So anyone traveling today to get where you need to go for Thanksgiving, or cooking today? My cousin is coming over today, and kids don't have school, so we'll be doing some Christmas stuff. But my cousin has made hand lotion using tallow and I think castor oil and some essential oils and stuff. So she's going to come over and we're going to have a little lotion making party. Bella wants to make some like sugar scrub or salt scrub or something like that, so we might do that too. Good morning, Tanya, coming from Kentucky. You're making 2 pumpkin pies, Polly? I was so excited. Janet asked me, she was telling me the menu because I was asking, you know, what can I bring? And she's like, well, I've got a peach pie and, okay, this one's not working for me. We're gonna go with a new piece. A peach pie, pecan pie, and to make pumpkin bars or pumpkin pie. Well, of course, my vote was to have pumpkin bars because I love pumpkin bars. You know, it's all about the cream cheese frosting. And I'm more of a little bit of pie with my whipped cream. I like more whipped cream than I do pies, so I voted for pumpkin bars. We'll see if I got outvoted at all, but that was my vote. Okay, so we're going to take our little bows, we're going to add them to the top of our ornaments. And I guess I never realized, as she was telling me this, and she said, and we're having turkey, which kind of shocked me because we usually have chicken, I feel like, because they have all their nice homegrown chickens, and one of their neighbors that they farm with grew a turkey, and I didn't realize that how big a turkey could be. She said the turkey was like 33 pounds. I was like, wow. So they split the turkey up in half, and so John and Janet got half of the turkey, and their friend has the other half. So we'll be having turkey this time. See what I mean about those bows? They do come loose. And our final bow. Good morning, Mary. Oh, Kimberly, you're having a wintry Indiana. We are having, I said it's like Mother Nature flipped her switch and decided, oh, you guys need to have a little winter in your life. Hopefully, though, it's safe enough for everyone who needs to travel for the holidays. Okay, so these two are done. These two are done. And the next one is super easy. You're just gonna have 4 squares. I thought this DSP was just pretty all on its own, and I felt like we had enough stuff going on. So I did keep these samplers a little bit more, I guess, simple. So that is the back side of the plaid. So you have 4 of these, and these go in your 4 corners. The golden years are very rusty. I will say, I haven't hit my golden years. I thought I had a while yet before. I thought maybe like 55 would be the point where I'd start to feel all that. And I will say, hitting it in your mid-40s is like, what? I thought, you know, I just thought I had more time before all that kind of stuff happen. And I'll tell you, sometimes I worry, like, what's going to happen to me when I'm 60? Oh, goodness. It's not for the faint of hearts, that's for sure. Turkeys are huge in the wild. I don't even want to think about what they are. All I know is my husband says, do never hit a turkey. He goes, that'll do some major damage. And like, I kind of figured I don't want to hit a turkey, and I don't want to hit a deer. My husband hit a deer about a week and a half ago, but he must have just nicked it, and luckily it did. I'm gonna knock on wood, a little scratch on the truck, so it could have been a whole lot worse. So I'm thankful that there wasn't any major damage to his truck. Okay, so now we're gonna bring in our wreath, and you have 3 labels here. So we're gonna have a Sacred Sea, you're gonna have a gold, and then you're gonna have this white one. And we are going to stamp Season's Greeting. So this is all from the traditional labels. Oh, how exciting. Your family's traveling from Canada and they're almost home. Nothing like seeing family that you haven't seen in a while. I will say my family is very excited. We have not been out to the farm in a while with marching band and concerts, and you know, we kind of like had all these weekends full of marching band, and now we had 1 week here that it was actually like in 2 weeks we had 5 concerts between the 2 of the kids, and it's slowed down a little bit, and now my daughter has a big performance coming up in 2 weeks. They do this, it's called Night of Silence. Okay, so we're gonna stamp our Season's Greetings in real red on this label. Now, I will tell you that I feel that this, no matter which way you put it, it looks the same. But I do feel that when you stamp Season's Greetings or Sending Love and Joy, there is a right way to turn this label and not necessarily a wrong way, but one way looks way better than another. Like the words line up with the curve better one way than another. And I can't really tell you one way or other, like, oh, you have to turn it this way to get it on here right. I really just hover my sentiment over the top and I see how it lays. I'm pretty sure the way that I have it now is fine. Yes. So the curves here with the words. So when you hover your stamp over the top, you'll be able to see how your words lay, and that will tell you which way to stamp it. if that makes sense to all of you. Like I said, when you look at it, it looks exactly the same, but when I hold the words over it, there's a slight difference. Okay. So these are all going to get layered on top of each other along with some of the real red ribbon. So this label is going to get popped up here in the middle. We're going to layer ribbon. We'll add our gold and then our white label. So I say before, my daughter's school, they take the top, so we have, I don't know, is there four different choir groups? So they take the top choir groups, the top orchestra, and the top band of, you know, those groups. And they perform this beautiful Christmas program. There's no applauding at all between all of the songs, and it's all Christmas. And when they change sets, so the orchestra will be sitting for a while, and then the band will go off and sit, and then they have different ensembles throughout the theater that perform, like some in the balcony, some come out, and it's a beautiful concert. And it's kind of bittersweet because it's my daughter's last year in this, and I hope my youngest will still yet perform someday in this too. So if you're local to the area, it is a great concert to check out. Okay, so now we're gonna weave our ribbon back and forth on here. Now, one other thing with this ribbon. This ribbon has a shiny, like shimmery side, and then it has more of a flat matte side. So what I end up doing is this, and then I end up tucking it like that so that I have the shiny part coming through on both sides when I flip them over. So I just twist it a little bit. And then we'll bring this one over like that. So you're gonna see the shiny side of it all when you just kind of roll that one under a little bit. Okay. Wow, this is what happens when you do this sideways. You put it on sideways, but that's okay. All right, so now this label, then I go over the top. And you can just hear the wind howling outside. And if you have a little tear tape poking through, just push it up a little bit. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm gonna pop up this label too. Now, if you want, you could also do a shadow box and put this in a shadow box versus a regular 12 by 12 frame. So there we go. There's that. Then we are going to Stella up our holly leaves here. So, has anyone decorated for Christmas yet? I need honey to keep me warm. I'm actually pretty warm right now. I'm kind of a hot box. So I don't usually wear long sleeves here, but it was just, I keep my house much colder. So I forget sometimes when I come here that the heat is on here. Not that my heat's not on, it's just much colder. So what I do here is I will pop up part of my holly leaves, so like the tops of them, and then I will use liquid glue to do the rest of them. I wish I could snuggle with the cats, but I will also break out in a rash and end up all sneezy and all of that too. But they must not be awake yet, because usually once they're awake, the doors kind of all get open and they're free to roam. So, and usually one is always here by the faucet wanting a little drink. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little glue down here to each one of these. And then I will sneak these in like that. And like that. And then you're gonna have these little tiny berries here. So you just take and make 3 dots of your glue and stick them on there. Oh my goodness, you had your knee replaced and you're having Thanksgiving. Oh, but you're there as supervision. That's always really good. Nice to have a supervisor. Aww, Mary decorated and their stuff got all blown around, and we have not done anything outside yet, but we did. We have 2 of our trees up. We have a, regular, whatever, 8.5, 9-foot tree in our living room, and then we have a 12-foot tree that's in our front entryway. So that one has the lights on it almost, and hopefully we can get that decorated. I'm trying to bribe my oldest to stay overnight on Thanksgiving, and that way on Friday we could put the ornaments on the big tree. And they like to do that together because they have gotten ornaments every year. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, that kind of thing. But those ornaments have always been based on something that they've done that year, or a memory, or something like that. So they really enjoy going through the ornaments and being, oh, this is my oldest was a big thumbsucker and blankie, so he got like Linus when he was little, and he's sucking his thumb and with a blanket. So it's so fun to go through that, and we had so much fun. Last year was our first year in our new house, and so they had not seen their ornaments in like 5 years, because they were buried in a storage unit, and we didn't plan on being without a house for 5 years. And so they hadn't seen them. So it was really fun last year going through all of those and seeing their reactions after 5 years of not having them. So when you put this together on your 12 by 12 sheet, it's going to go like this. And notice my flowers, like I have them kind of cradling this middle here. So one is kind of like upside down here, and this one is going this way. And these, just kind of look at the direction of your DSP to decide which way you want your corners to be. So like that. And then we're gonna finish up, we're gonna bring in our rhinestones, and we're gonna use our blend here, and we're gonna color a bunch of them with our cherry blends. Now you cannot do this with regular markers, that will just wipe off, but with our alcohol markers, this is great. So you can do this with any gem. So we're gonna add some berries to our wreath, and you could add some other gems throughout. I really kind of wanted to use the Traditions of Christmas, the sequins in this, but they are still on back order, so we went with rhinestones instead that we can color. So I'm just gonna place these randomly. There's actually like spots for berries here on the wreath, so I'm just kind of using those spots as my place to kind of set some berries on here. And you could do clusters, or if you have, we do have berry gems that, you know, like have clusters of 3 and things like that. If you have those at home, you could use that instead. So there we go. So that is it all put together. And this is on the Secret Sea two-tone paper. So this is what your finished product, when you have both gold pieces on you. So I don't know, I thought this was really pretty, and I think I've just really, I have fallen in love with the Secret Sea. Like, I just think, I love adding Secret Sea in here with the Christmas colors. I think it's just such a nice touch. So that is our first sampler, all done. And for our next one, you're gonna need a piece of 12 by 12 pool party. Okay, so pick which side you want, light, dark. I'm gonna go with the light. And then we're gonna bring in all of our pieces. This one's got a lot more pieces, lots of little snowflakes. So you're gonna have your big piece here, and that is embossed. This is Soft Waves. I feel like that's what the name of this folder is. So that's gonna get glued over the top. And I was actually really smart, and I cut that giant snowflake out of the center of it to save on paper. I love when I remember to do it before I actually assemble stuff. Okay, so like the other one, so this is on the same concept of the other one. You've got your large piece in the middle, but this one we're gonna have 2 long strips of, so we're using Pretty Peacock, like this, and then we've got 2 shorter strips here. But what I did with this is I wanted this embossed, and obviously we have 2 really long strips, but when you see it together, you really can't tell. So you do get a line, a slight line, and I'll show you that because we're gonna emboss it here in a moment. But I strategically put my letters over where that line is, and you really can't see it. So it looks like it was one piece embossed all at once. Okay, so what we're gonna do, bring in our machine here. Need the big plate and the gray plate. And basically, all I'm doing is, this is long enough to fit both sides in. So you don't want to get it, you want to make sure it's not all the way back to the crease, but where it starts to emboss. So like that. So we have half of it done, and then we're gonna switch it. And I'm gonna line it up to where it stopped kind of embossing here. Like that. And go through, and there you go. So like I said, now you have this slight line right here, but that's okay. We're gonna strategically place our letters there, and you don't even know the difference. So we'll emboss this one too. So this is, you know, a great way to emboss some larger pieces when you're scrapbooking too. And if you just strategically place everything in the embossing folder like this, great way to add some texture to your scrapbook pages. Okay, we flip it around again. Line it up. And pop that through. And there we go. So we have two large pieces. So basically, I think these are, you know, just under 11 and 3/4. Okay, so we'll bring our pieces back in. Now we can adhere these on here like that, okay? I feel like maybe I didn't cut something right. Maybe I didn't cut my white right. I didn't. We're gonna pretend I cut it right. So I just have a little bit extra on there. Okay. Now, speaking of all the Thanksgiving food and stuff, what's everyone's vote for dessert? Are we pumpkin, apple, something different, pecan? Mary, I did take the stylus and try to get rid of the crease, but I didn't feel that it really made much of a difference. It actually just kind of, I don't know. I didn't feel like it made that much of a difference. So I didn't do it, and like I said, I just placed my letters on there strategically, and away we went. Okay, so now these are gonna go down here like that, and up here like so. This one's gonna go in the middle, and then we have this DSP. This DSP is from the Pine Cone Snowflake set. So it's got this on one side, but then it has kind of a wintry, snowy scene on the other side. So Karen's vote is a pecan pie. I myself, if I had my pick of desserts, it would be a cheesecake of some sorts. Okay, so that glued like that. And then these go nestled like that. So we're gonna glue these all down. Mincemeat pie, Sharon. Okay. I have never had a mincemeat pie. My husband has. He likes it. Okay, and now we can do, I'm going to do my two ends first. That way my large square is centered in the middle. Yeah, what is all in mincemeat pie? That is a good question, Mary. Now, I always like to try different recipes, and my husband loves Stahlen. Something his grandma made. His mom never made it. She always bought, you know, the store-bought one, but that is, I told him this year that I would try my hand at making Stahlen, so we're gonna give that a try this year for Christmas morning. Okay. There we go. We have our basic square made. Now we're going to have lots of pieces here. So let's do our stamping and our coloring. I think those are the only things that need to be stamped. So we've got our festive friends, and we're using some pool party, peach pie. Pretty Peacock, and Fresh Freesia. And I have one little snowman done already. Bring it in our secret C. And we've got it die cut ready. So what I always do is, this is how I hold. So I have room on the tips of my fingers, and I use the tips of my finger to lay on the stamp here, and then I try to eyeball the best I can and then I just press down. And most of the time it turns out pretty good. And then our label here, we're gonna stamp in Pretty Peacock. So the stamp set that I'm using for that is called Snowflake Kisses. So we have two stamp sets. We have Snowflake Kisses and we have Snowy Delights. I'm using the sentiment out of this, but I think I use both die sets that coordinate with these to cut a lot of the snowflakes out. So we've got our little label, and it has these cute little tiny snowflakes cut out of the center. And it just says Happy Winter. I felt like that was the perfect sentiment to put in the middle of this. All right, so we'll bring in our snowman. And we are going to take a little bit of the light Pool Party and just kind of go on the outside edges here on the sides of our snowman. I just want to give him a little definition as far as kind of helping him pop off the page and not having so much white on white. And then I take my color lifter and I go along the edge of that Pool Party and soften that so you don't have a line. And then I kind of made my snowmen opposite each other, so I feel like this is my little girl and we're gonna make this one a little boy. So I am going to decorate kind of opposite colors. We're gonna have the Pretty Peacock scarf. And the majority of the stripes in Pretty Peacock, and just a little bit of purple. And I use a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. These are like brand new blends. I've hardly put, they're like, I must not use Pretty Peacock that much. So I always start with my dark, and where I think there would be shadows is where I place my dark, and then I will blend with my light. I love Pretty Peacock though, it's a beautiful color. And make sure when you're coloring, when you go over that dark, go over it with your light. That's what helps soften the color, and it gives it a more blended look. So mincemeat pie, apples, raisins, and other dried fruit, and of course some diced beef. All right. Pretty Peacock is your favorite color, Kimberly. Oh, and you can put bourbon in there. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna go through with our fresh freesia. Maybe that's something I'll have to explore, mincemeat pie. My husband would totally eat it. I don't know so much about my children, but my husband would. Okay. Now, the one thing you do want to make sure that if you use your Wink of Stella, I always use my Wink of Stella because everything's better with Stella, right? that when you color your white part of your snowman, just make sure not to really go over your secret C, because that'll pick up some of your secret C color and your snowman won't look so white. How do I know that? By mistake. I just got Stella'ing up everything and I had a schmeary looking snowman. He was looking pretty dirty, we'll just say that. And usually I've got a light color and a dark color here, so I will make sure that I swipe in between so that I'm not transferring any color. Okay, so all of our stamping is done, coloring is done, so very little to do as far as that goes. Now this is where lots of dimensionals come in, things like that. Your Stella, look at this snowflake. So this is the glimmer paper from the Peaceful Gardens, and it's gorgeous. And it's so nice because you do not end up with glitter everywhere. The old glimmer paper, when I first started, you'd have glitter just everywhere with it. And even in the packaging at the bottom, there would be glitter all over it. So now we're just going to layer up our snowflakes. And of course, I'm gonna pop up everything, but you don't have to. Jean, you put bourbon in your pecan pie. Oh, I have never made pecan pie. I will be honest with that one. So this gets layered like that. And where did I just, oh, I'm like, where did I just put our sparkly one? I'm gonna put dimensionals in this thicker area here. Mary, you had a dust storm blow through, yikes. You'd almost think we had a dust storm. A lot of the farmers are out and there is so much dirt in the roads. Actually, with the rain last night, it made the roads just a little bit slick. Okay, so then this goes on here like that. It's so pretty. And then we have another snowflake here to go in the middle. So that gets nestled in the center. And then we have a little bit of silver trim. I'm glad I realized I dropped this as I was coming in. So we're gonna cheat, and instead of weaving it all the way across, we're gonna save ourselves some ribbon. And we're just gonna do the ends here. And then I will use my tear tape to tape it down. I only got part of it on there though. This ribbon's not going anywhere, guys. Okay, so cut that off. So if you want to make your ribbon stretch, Oh, Cindy, you keep losing internet. Uh-oh. So there we go. So we saved a bunch of ribbon doing it that way. Yes, that's what made my snowman look dirty. I feel like that's a good name for a drink. I don't know. Maybe there is one. I don't know my drinks out there, but I feel like a dirty snowman would be a good name for a drink. And then we will pop these up. And this will go on the center of our snowflake. But I almost forgot. I don't know how I could almost forget. I'm going to Stella this up a little bit. Add a little more sparkle. Not that our other snowflake is not sparkly enough, but so that goes in the center of that, like so. And then we're gonna pop up some more. Okay, and then I kind of want a point at the top. So this is just gonna go in the center like that. There we go. So that is our middle one is done. We've got our snow people. We're gonna Stella up some more stuff. We got trees, we got snowflakes, we got it all. We got sparkly letters, oh my. All right, so we're gonna Stella up the trees. We might be Stellaing up Chris's glass mat here a little bit too. Leave a little bit of my sparkly love. I will clean it up when I'm done, I promise. Okay, so we got tree Stella. Now we're gonna bring in our letters, and I'm gonna add all sorts of dimensionals on the back of these. You don't have to add dimensionals if you don't want, but you guys know me. I like to pop everything up. So, dimensionals everywhere. The nice thing was I only used one letter twice, so I could run everything through all at once. Isn't that hot cocoa marshmallows? Are you having hot cocoa, Mary? Or maybe I missed something here. Anyone have to go do a grocery shopping run yet? That's where I'm headed to after this. I gotta run to the grocery store to get a couple things. I'm making taco dip, so need a couple things for that. And I need to go to a specialty store where they have what am I looking for? It's the essential oils for our little lotion excursion. Really, the more dimensionals, the merrier, right? They were just on sale, so I can, or they might still be on sale. I don't know if they're in stock or out of stock. I lost track of all that throughout the day. So I can use my dimensionals. That's one thing I don't have a problem with, using my dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to start off by putting my I for my it. And that is going to go right on that line there. And then I believe my N goes over the line on the bottom. So this side here gets butted up to that line, or over the middle of that line, like so. And now you can place the rest of your letters on. Let's see if I can do all of this and spell it correctly. I love these letters, I will say. I was so excited to use these letters. I had trouble at first. I didn't know what title. I was going for Winter Wishes on here, but Winter Wishes was really long on here, and I still wanted to add some more stuff. So Let It Snow became the title. And then I'm going to put my T on first. Make sure I got the proper spacing, I guess, from the I to the T. Oh, hot cocoa is called Dirty Snowman. I did not know that. I'm going to sound all fancy when I tell the kids, you want a dirty snowman? My kids love to make dirty sodas, so we've come up with some different combinations, and now I can say it's a dirty snowman when I give them hot cocoa. So is coffee called something? That could be a dirty snowman too. A melted dirty snowman. Is that coffee? Okay, I think I need my E to go a little bit higher, and then my L, and then we'll be good. My L looks a little wonky. So does my E. Give me an E. There we go. Pretty good. All right. We're getting to the home stretch, peeps. All right, so you're gonna take one of your snow people, put some dimensionals on them, and your pool party trees. And one snowman for the bottom, one snow woman for the top, vice versa. Hello, Ellen. Okay, so you need a pool party tree and a pretty peacock tree. A little glue on your tree like that. So this is gonna go right there. This one, oops, I just tore the dimensional right off. It's gonna get popped up in front of it. You can take your dimensionals off your snowman. Mary, you're giving me that E? Okay. So your snowman is ready. We got another peacock tree. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. Oops. There we go. And then our snowman kind of goes partially on both trees like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing down here in the corner. So that'll go here. Our blue tree, or pool party. I just love this little festive friends. I don't know why, but I just think they're adorable. So there's Santa in there, and there's also an elf in there. And I think they are adorable. Okay. So that's gonna go about there. Your snowman goes there. Now the rest is easy. Place a few snowflakes. So we're gonna do that and that, and put the large one up there, kind of opposite each other here. And then you're gonna have some sparkly snowflakes to add in here. Like so. So I'm just put a little dot of glue. You could use a glue dot also. Take your pick tool, would be really handy, that little sticky end right there. I must have something sticky on my hands that I keep pulling the snowflakes up. There we go. And then we have a few of these little pool party ones. And I'm just gonna put 3 dots. Like that. Do the same thing over here. well. Well, I can pick up dimensional bags pretty easy, and snowflakes. Okay. Whew. Now, the only thing missing are some rhinestones. So, we're going to go through here now and just add some snowflakes to a few of our snowflakes. So, like that, and we'll do some little ones here. So cute. I left the sticky over here. It helps if you have sticky on the back. So this would make a nice home decor piece in your own home, but this would make a great gift to gift someone. Okay, so there we go. There are our 2 samplers today. So here is our winter sampler. So this you can keep up, you know, through February. And then here is our Christmas one. Where did I put it? Over here. So you get 2 samplers to make with this class. So there you go. How pretty, right? And 2 totally opposite color palettes. So 2 samplers. This kit will be available to order until the first week in December. So you have about a week and a half to order it. I think those of you who want things shipped with Christine, if you could order by the 1st, I think her shipping date is the 5th. So let me know if you want me to combine shipping for anything, and we can get these added. I also have Card Buffet. I still have a few of those cards left. What else do I have left? I think that is it for November that I have left. Cost of these, you get both of these, Karen, for $26. And like I said, for those of you who are away, shipping, usually it's $6 for shipping, but if you get multiple classes, then it's an additional $2 for each class is how we do that. Let's see, what else do I have for you? I think that's it. I'll be back next week, Wednesday. We're going to do Technique December, and that is actually going to be using this snowflake set. Where are we here in the camera? There we go. Snowy Delights. It came with a set of masks with that. So we're going to use some embossing paste and ink and different things like that to create some projects with that. So I'll be back next Wednesday at 10 o'clock for that. So that is December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. The 3rd, wow. Monday is bingo. I should probably get that announcement out. So we have bingo. Karen, I don't know if you're doing anything. I am doing this in person this weekend also on Saturday. So I know Christine also has the used stamp sale. So if you are local to us, the used stamp sale will be this Saturday. I don't know. Does anyone know what time it starts? I think it's either at 9 or 10, I feel like. 10. Good morning, bros. So I feel like at 10 o'clock for sure. At the Eagles Club, and then she has a lot of different vendors there. Pampered Chef, LuLaRoe, I think Jody's going to be there still with some 31 stuff. Usually Mary Kay, I don't have the list of her current one, but she usually has all those kind of at-home like us. Sale is 92. Thank you, Karen. And she has the used stamp sale. Plus, I think sometimes she has cards for sale. Her classes will probably be on display. So come check it out. She has local crafters there. Lots of great stuff. So go check it out. Go get a deal. Otherwise, I think that is all I have for you guys. If you have any questions or want to order any classes, this is where you guys can find me. Go to my Facebook page, follow me there. My email is ginabueller@gmail.com, my phone number, so all my information is right here. Make sure you guys like and share my videos. That helps me bring you more love and more creations. And don't forget at the end of the month here, so next week, Wednesday, we will be doing the November drawing for those who like and share my videos, and there'll be prizes, so whoop whoop. Otherwise, in the meantime, I hope you all have a fabulous Thanksgiving, safe travels wherever you may go, eat lots of good food, and hopefully you'll be all rested up, and I will see you all next Wednesday. So thanks again. Happy Thanksgiving.